So in terms of my career trajectory and places that I have worked, I began interning in college. I think my first one was the summer after my freshman year, and I would truly recommend to people interning as soon as you can, because you get so much experience before you even graduate. It really is instrumental in getting a position after. And if you're ever wondering, like, well, sure, that sounds great, but like, what internship do I get? My very first one that I ever did, I created. So I knew that I wanted to do something in music, and there was a family friend that was local to me who owned a recording studio. And it was fairly new. They had just opened within, the past like 5 years at least. And um, I said, are you interested in having me as an intern and doing like social media stuff for you guys? And, maybe even I could learn a few things about recording. And he was like, heck yeah, like, come by whenever you want. And so I think in my, I was a marketing major. And so in business, sometimes you can feel a little lonely when you want to do those like media, music, entertainment kind of positions, but like really the opportunities are out there. Just take a look at what's in your community and reach out and ask if they want someone or need someone, because even if they don't have that job posted, or like a job posted in general, that doesn't mean that there's not a place for you there. So that was my first one, summer after my freshman year, an internship at Third Street Music. And that really kicked off the rest of them. So based off of that experience, I was a college marketing representative for Universal Music Group. I was a college marketing representative for Warner Music Group and NBC Universal, promoting like Dua Lipa's New Rules when it came out, and promoting First Man and Happy Death Day to You. So and it was in the Cincinnati market within the UC campus. So after those positions, I graduated summer of 2019, and I went on to work at Live Nation as a marketing coordinator there, planning sponsorships around all of our festivals and venues. And then I recently started at Klarna as a project coordinator there. So yeah, it's been a wide range of experiences, but starting early really helped.
And I was gonna say, what's one thing that you like about your job now, and then what's one thing that you maybe could do without?
I like that my job is a mix of the creative and the planning, the strategy. I really think that that's where my brain thrives, kind of like equally left and right brain. However, that's kind of the downside as well. So, as a project coordinator at Klarna, I'm responsible for making sure that all of our projects happen smoothly, that they happen well, and that they go out on time. And so with that kind of comes the stress of like, okay, well, at the end of the day, like it kind of all comes down to me and my planning and how I set the team up for success.
Okay, do you think there's anything that you really learned in Bearcast that you've been able to apply to your post-collegiate career?
Yeah, I think that being able to work with people who specialize in different things. So specifically as GM at Bearcast, I was responsible for making sure that everybody was on the same page about what kind of stuff we were working on, and were making like innovative things in their fields. And so the way that I would talk to the video director would be different from the way that I talk to the programming director, and the way that I would talk to our communications director would be really different from what we're doing with the promotion director. And so I think that noticing, recognizing, and specializing the work that goes into what everyone does is important, because what this person needs as a communications director is completely different from what this person needs and does as the like video director or music director. So recognizing what different people need, what their dependencies are, and yeah, working together as a team. I mean, I think Bearcast is best when everybody's like friends and really cool with each other. And I think, you know, sometimes it's easy to all disagree, and maybe we, you know, leave a meeting a little steamed or something. But at the end of the day, like, these people are all creating with you, and I think the most important thing is to create an atmosphere where everybody's getting what they need and where everybody's being respected.
I was at one point or another the general manager, the assistant general manager, and the promotions director.
So how would you say that Bearcast has changed or impacted your life?
Oh my gosh.
Putting you on the spot.
No. I feel like there was a while where I could trace a really clear path, even though I don't do anything related to music these days. But at the time, okay, let's see if I can trace it back. So, okay. Started off with a radio show, which led to, you know, me getting these director positions. Because I was a director, I ended up at CMJ, which is the College Music Journal conference, which, you know, is like a big industry conference. I think it was through CMJ, I ended up meeting a guy named Shiv, who was the music director at this radio station that's no longer around called Waxy. Through Waxy, through those conversations, I ended up getting a position as a DJ at WOXY. Because I ended up at WOXY, I ended up going to South by Southwest. At South by Southwest, I met a music director, a music promoter out in Portland. And I asked her if I could get an internship, which she gave me an internship in Portland. So I ended up moving to Portland. If I wouldn't have moved to Portland, I probably wouldn't have realized how much I actually really appreciate Cincinnati. And that, I think, really spurred like my path from there. And then I ended up like doing events here, which then led to my position at the nonprofit I really started my career at. Blah, 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 blah. Like it just went on and on. So yeah, there's a very clear through line of like how Bearcast changed my life.
What made you decide to go into nonprofit, and then kind of what's your role in your current nonprofit that you work at?
Sure. Mm-hmm. So my current role is I work for an organization that essentially we collaborate with other nonprofits, government agencies, hospitals, schools, you know, you name it, in the nonprofit sector, focusing on how these organizations can work differently and work better by working most closely with the people who are impacted by the social issues they're working on. So so I'm usually working pretty hands-on with organizations so that they can really redesign their programs and services to help share power with community members and look at their work from a racial equity lens, from a social justice lens, while also taking like a creative design approach as well to help them think differently about issues and come to better solutions. So that's my current role. I don't know how I got into the nonprofit sector. I mean, my mom worked at the University of Cincinnati, and my dad worked at a high school as a teacher. So I feel like I've always been drawn to a sense of civic engagement, but then I think, yeah, I don't know. I've always been really called to community issues and social causes. So I think it was going to happen it was going to happen one way or the other.
So aside from the pizza, of course, what would you say your favorite Bearcast memory was?
I would say that, so I'm kind of embarrassed to say this now. My friend Zach and I, who were in E-Media together, we had a radio show. This is terrible. I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud. We had a show together called White on Rice. Obviously, I'm Asian and he's white. And yeah, we just use that opportunity just to goof around and talk about music and listen to, all the CDs, which also makes me feel really old saying that. Listen to all the CDs, that came into the studio. And I remember we got the opportunity to interview someone from the band called Of Montreal. And I just couldn't believe that this guy even wanted to talk to us and wanted to talk to a couple students that didn't know what we were doing. So yeah, I just, to be honest, like, I don't think the interview was particularly memorable, but I felt so cool. And I felt really honored that this guy really took the time to talk to us. So I really appreciated that.
Is there anything that you wish that you knew before you started either your current career or your like kind of journey into the world of nonprofit?
How do I say this without being cynical? Basically, plans don't really matter. Like, you're never going to be able to predict where you're going to go. I really thought when I left school that I was going to be in music business. And I mean, I really cared about it. I was really passionate about it. I still love music, and I still feel like there's a place in my heart for music and the music community here. But, if someone had asked me to like make a 5-year plan, like there's no way I could have predicted where I went. And so that's not to say like plans don't really matter, but I guess just be open. Just be open.
Just, do you have any advice for current Bearcast students, general body members, just any, or even just college kids? Like, just what would your advice be for people like myself?
Oh gosh, just take all of the opportunities that you can in school. I'm not saying like, maybe don't do what I did and like pack everything in, but I feel like looking back, there's just so much about college that is really, man, I'm about to sound so cliche, but like there's just so much to discover in college, and you have a safety net of, you've got advisors and like organizations like Bearcast that are really there to help you. And so just, I guess, take advantage of all of it, because you're not going to get that opportunity. Also, study abroad. If you can afford it, please do it, because you will get very few chances outside of college to pursue and explore other countries with like a cohort of people that you can experience with. It's really an incredible experience.
I'm Meredith. I was a past metal music director twice, and program director. So
what did you major in college, just so that we know? What did you graduate from UC with?
So I graduated in 2007 with the E-Media Bachelorette. Actually, I wanted to go work at NPR. I thought it was the bee's knees to go work at NPR and like be part of that, giving back to my community and being involved and just being a part of public radio. So actually I did an internship at WVXU WGC, and then I did one at WCET. Towards the end of, I did this WCET one secondly. They actually hired me on, and I was making a certain amount of money. And at the same time, during my college career, I always worked 40 hours. It was always at like multiple jobs, but at least 40 hours a week to sustain the college lifestyle. So I happened to get a really great opportunity working on the Cincinnati Bell Zoomtown Internet Help Desk at the time, which was located here in Cincinnati because of friends. And I was doing that. Well, interestingly enough, I was making double that at the Internet Help Desk than what I was making at WCET. And then that's when I realized this isn't for me. I need I don't want to live the nonprofit lifestyle. I want to help it. So that is where I got into technology. And from there, kind of on down the line, my internet job, my support help desk job went away. It actually migrated to somewhere else. I stayed with the third party who I was actually working through, not through Cincinnati Bell. Through there, I have found great opportunities to work on other help desk and find project management. And so I found project management and got certified, came back to Cincinnati Bell, and had been a project manager as in a title in one way, shape, or form leading up to 2020. And actually in 2020, in January, I made the switch over to privacy. So privacy is still fairly new for me, though it is fun and I have a passion for it, but project management will always be in my heart.
Speaking of like your job, what do you think you would say your favorite thing is about it, and maybe a least favorite thing? Just have some contrast.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about my job right now, from the actual privacy standpoint, is I work with amazing people, some just amazing talent, and I have wonderful mentors, whether they're official mentors or people I just have an opportunity to get access to. And so while I love the work that I do, and I really enjoy problem solving and looking at how do I apply law and make it actionable and like help our internal teams apply that to what they're doing in their work, or just being aware of what applies to them. I love working with the people that I have access to. And I've been at Bell in one way, shape, or form for 11, 12-ish years. And I'm very lucky to have the relationships that I have. You know, people stay for the people. And I am definitely representative of that. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and I love the people there. Something I could do without. A thing I could do without. Right now there's a lot of there's some uncertainty. Cincinnati Bell is actually being acquired, and there's just a little bit of uncertainty. And of course, I could always do without uncertainty as someone who likes to plan things, but life is not without uncertainty. So you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's where I land.
How, if you could like kind of describe it, like how do you think Bearcast has changed or impacted your life? If you think it has, like.
So the way that I would say Bearcast impacted me the most is that it gave me an opportunity to be a leader during a time that in a space that I was uncertain if I could lead. And so it was actually one of the first real adult experiences that I had being in a leadership opportunity. I do look back at that time and I think about, I progressed to being a project manager in my career. And part of that is looking at what management, who are my stakeholders? What is my budget? Who do I need to connect with? What is my communication? And all of that is consistent with what this role also gave to me, and gave me an opportunity to test out my fledgling skills to get to where I was. And so that's really one of the biggest, most profound impacts, is that it gives you an opportunity to hone in your skills as a leader and continue to develop. So it's, yeah.
My entire life, I have always been drawn to and inspired by strong, empowered women. I think it started with my mom and a number of friends and family members, my professor, who's now my boss. Just throughout my life, you can see that I am drawn to these empowering women. And it's because of one empowering woman that I'm actually here. Well, because of a number of them, but I remember how I got into Bearcast. It's a freshman marketing major that wanted to do something creative and wasn't sure how. So I met with my academic advisor, and she pointed me towards an upperclassman in my business program by the name of Abby Tompkins. And Abby was minoring in electronic media at this point. So I met with her for coffee, and I remembered who she was because at one of the recruiting breakfasts that our business program had, she spoke to everyone, and she stuck out in my mind because she was the only one that was holding the microphone the way that you're supposed to in like music and theater. And we sat down, we were at the Starbucks when it was still in Stager, and she told me about e-media. And at the end of our little meeting, she looked at me and she said, I'm the general manager of something called Bearcast Media, and we have meetings every Thursday at 6:30. You should come. Just come. It'll be fun. I think you'll really enjoy it. And if it wasn't for her encouraging me then and encouraging me later to apply for the communications structure, I would not be able to put forth this event with my team and to be able to lead Bearcast as I am now.